Easily build and add a timer bar section to your Shopify or any e-commerce site. No apps. Let's go. So, for Shopify users, I wanted to quickly go through building this feature using their AI tool called Shopify Magic. If you simply need something that works and want to get it up and running quickly, it's definitely a great tool, but there's a way to use it efficiently. Let me show you how I do it. First of all, let me show you Shopify Magic just in case you've never used it before. So let's go to theme editor. All right, so from here, when you click on add section or even when you click add block, it will always give you this option on at the very top that says generate, and this is Shopify Magic. You click it, you'll see that it pulls up this box that will allow you to type your prompts, the instructions that you want to give the tool or the AI to help you build the section or the feature that you're trying to build. Now, while we could directly type and input our instructions here in this box, I personally wouldn't do it this way because we want the tool to get as many details as possible about the section that we're trying to build so that we can get the result that we're trying to achieve. So, to do that, the first thing I would do is I would get my notepad and write my instructions here. But actually, these instructions, which I have already prepared, are not really the instructions that I'm going to paste in this box. It's not meant for Shopify Magic. It's meant for ChatGPT. So this prompt is something that I'm going to give ChatGPT to help me write the best prompt possible for Shopify Magic to make sure that it will give me the best result and I can avoid tweaks and further instructions and avoid back and forth with the AI. Okay, so now that we have the prompt ready for ChatGPT, all we need to do is to paste it on ChatGPT and let's do that. Let's pull it up. So, by the way, I need to attach the design. Okay, so now I have attached the design. By the way, I'm not really trying to get it to copy the exact design. It's just an idea. So let me just also quickly edit this and say return a copyable text. All right, so now this is the result that ChatGPT gave me. Let's test it out and see if it's gonna work. Okay, so now we have the finished product from Shopify Magic. Okay, and let's just test or let's just check the fields first. So, as requested, there are fields for start time and date, and then the text that I asked for, which are the text before the timer, after the timer, and the code, the discount code. And let's just make sure that the button is actually working as well. So we just need to add a link, and as you can see, it's also working, right? And the timer is also working. So yeah, that's a good result already, and it does allow us to also update the background and the button. So definitely a great result. So I really think Shopify Magic is a great tool and it does a really good job of getting a feature up and running quickly. Personally, though, I prefer having more control over the way my code is structured. It makes feature updates easier, helps me keep my CSS organized, and lets me reuse the same conventions across different pages and sections. For that, here's how I would do it without using Shopify Magic. Now, my preferred way of doing it involves a couple more tools and a couple more steps, but I guarantee that they are just as easy as how we did it for Shopify Magic. All right, so for the first step, we're going to need to pull up the tools that we're going to be using. And the first tool that we're going to need is an AI. So just like how we did it with Shopify Magic, Shopify Magic is a built-in AI tool of Shopify, but we're going to be using one that is outside Shopify, but it's also designed to code or to it's also designed for tasks related to development. All right, so one good example of it is the one that we're using here, which is called Antigravity, and this one's developed by Google. If you have Codex, it's also good. There are many other AI tools that are designed for this kind of task. So feel free to use anything that you have or anything that you're more comfortable with. Okay, so the next tool that we're going to need is, of course, the code editor on Shopify. This is where we're going to paste our generated liquid code from Antigravity. I just wanted to quickly show you, just in case you are not a web developer and you're trying to do it on your own, um, let me show you how you can add a new section. So after you have opened the code editor here, you have to check the left panel here and look for sections and click it, and then click this button here, and this means new file. Just click it and then add the name for that specific section. So let's just say example section dot liquid, and then hit enter. And there you go. You already have your new section. Okay. And the last tool that we're going to need is this tool called RDC Lab. Now, this tool is designed to generate preset going or features. So when we go to the list of generators here, since we're going to be building a timer bar, we're going to select timer bar generator. And by the way, there will be more generators to come in the future. So let's start working with this tool. First, we're going to set the details that we want, and we're going to make some adjustments based on how we want it to look like as well. So first, let's just say Black Friday. Let's just um let's just say we're running a Black Friday sale, and let's put, maybe I want to say 35% off site wide. So as you can see, the changes are reflecting here already. Okay, and maybe I want everything around. We're just doing this for demonstration anyway, so you can definitely do it your way, however you want it to look like. And yeah, so now after putting in these details, at this point, this tool is actually ready to deliver you result. So let me show you. Once you hit the copy button and go to your section that you have created on Shopify and paste the code, you can see that there's already a style tag for your CSS, and then you already have your HTML, and then you already have your script. Of course, we're going to need to paste these on separate files where they belong to. such as the script being on a JS file and all that. But what I'm trying to say is it's already here. Like you basically just copy pasted everything and you already have the section that you want. However, it's not going to work if you want a dynamic section, because as we can see, the details here are all hard coded. So if we weren't actually doing it for Shopify, if we were just adding this section on a static page or somewhere else, then definitely this is good to go. But since we're going to use it for Shopify, we're going to need the liquid version of it, as well as for the sake of this demonstration and this tutorial, we're also going to make some changes with how it looks. So we're going to demonstrate how AI is going to be able to easily update how this looks based on the things that we're going to set from here on this section. So when we scroll down, we can see this section that is created for AI prompts. So this is where we're going to build the instructions that we're going to give Antigravity later on based on the generated code here and the things that the instructions that we're going to give it here. Okay, so on this section, there are different ways you could enhance the code that was generated up here. So you could like improve the design, improve mobile experience, optimize for performance, and many other things. But here, we just want to improve the design, and at the same time, we want to convert it to Shopify Liquid, right? So we're just going to select two. And after doing that, here on the right side is where we can edit, because we need to customize, of course, the instructions or the prompt for the AI. So everything that has this emoji, the hand pointing emoji, every line that has it is where you should apply or add your custom instructions. And feel free to delete any line that is not applicable to what you're trying to do, right? So I'm not going to show you on this video how I'm going to do that. I'm just going to explain later on after I do it. So see you then. Okay, so now I'm done editing the prompt. So let me just quickly go through everything here. This part is actually auto-populated based on what you have set here. So that's done. I didn't really edit that. And then next is instruction. So as I have said, I had to customize the parts that had the emoji. So I've set the colors and style. So everything is in here. I also added more context here. So I added the brand and the niche to give the AI better idea of what we're looking for. Additional notes. So if you have like more information you want to give AI to be able to achieve what you're looking for, then you can input those in this field. All right. So once ready, just simply copy the prompt and let's see what Antigravity is going to give us with this prompt. All right, so let's paste the prompt here. Let's copy the code and paste it here. All right. Yeah, that's a result that's promising with all the schema tags here and all that. So in the next part of this video, I'm going to show you how we can optimize the way we position these codes. All right, so let's start adding these to their designated files. So let's just quickly cut. Just save this first as well. And so to add a new CSS for the styling, you have to go to assets here. So click it and then add a new file, and then let's just say rdc.css and paste the CSS codes here. And then we're just gonna do the same for the script as well, right? So let's just do that and save the change, and then go back to assets, add new file, rdc.js. Of course, so once pasted, of course, we need to remove the script tag because we don't need that anymore, and save it. All right, so next we're gonna test and see how it looks on the front end and see if it actually works. Actually, just before we check if it's working or how it looks on the theme editor, we're gonna need to link the CSS and JS file to the theme.liquid file. So let's just do that real quick. Okay, so let's start with the CSS. Now, there are many ways you can actually do this, but here's one way of doing it. And let's also link our JS. Okay. And let's just save it. And now we can test on the theme editor. So let's just do that. So let's just say we want to add it up here above the announcement bar, or maybe we want to hide the announcement bar. It's really up to you. But let's just add it above the announcement bar. And okay, so as requested, we now have our own timer bar that Antigravity generated for us, and it does allow us to make the changes that we need. If we want to change the background, if we want to change and update the text, if we want to update the radius, even we can definitely do that, right? So let's also test if the timer actually works, right? It should work because it is the most important feature of this section. All right, so I tried testing if the timer bar works, and I noticed that there is one slight tweak that we need to ask from the AI, because as you can see right now, it does work, but that's because I had to move the script back to the section file, and this is not really what we're trying to do. We are actually trying to separate this code to its own file, but then this needs to be edited first for that to happen. So right now it's working, but we need it to work even after we move the entire code to the JS file. And so we're gonna do that. So I'm gonna write a quick prompt for anti-gravity, and then let's see how or what it's gonna give us. Okay, so I just wrote my quick prompt, and let's see what the AI is going to respond to us. Okay, so now it sent me two separate codes, and let's just paste it here. So we're gonna do it again just to make sure we're not missing out on any other change that it might have added to make it work. And we're just gonna separate the styling again really quick. And by the way, I actually forgot to mention this. We need to leave this part here because these are variables that actually communicate with the liquid codes here, and the things that you're gonna set here on a theme editor. So we need to leave it there, otherwise it's not going to work. And then we just need to paste the CSS code, and let's just save that. And then let's go back to the rest of the code. There's actually a second copyable code that it sent, which is this one. And we're going to paste it here. And hopefully this is going to work now. And there you go. So now it works. So even if we have separated our JS code and our section as well as the CSS, everything is working. And let's just test and make sure that we're able to still make the changes. Everything seems to be working fine. And there you go. So we have our Black Friday timer banner or countdown banner. And this is something, by the way, that's not just for Black Friday. This can work on any sale, of course. And this is a reusable section. You can use it anytime you need to use it whenever you're running new sale. Great. This is a great section that we have created easily through the tools that we used. So before we end this tutorial, I just wanted to quickly explain a few more things about this process. So first is that your customization, of course, doesn't need to really stop here. This is just a basic example of this feature that I created, but you can absolutely make further changes if you want. If you want to make it look even more advanced by adding, say, a background image instead of just a solid color, you can definitely make these tweaks. Just make sure to give the AI the instructions that it needs. And I also wanted to mention the advantages of using this tool, the RDC Lab, when generating or when asking the AI for help in enhancing your code. I believe that it's better to have a good or solid starting point, such as the code that is generated here, rather than asking the AI to generate everything from scratch. And one of the biggest advantages is that it gives you your own convention, and it keeps your codes clean because RDC Lab has its own class naming convention. And the instructions we provide or the prompt that we provide to the AI includes making sure that it sticks to the convention, such as the classes here that starts with RDC or RLab, to make sure everything is clean and even reusable if you need to use them in the future. For example, display flex, if you need to use this, then you can just use this class on your elements when you're creating them. Also, when you're using a generator like this, and when you paste a code to the AI tool, such as Antigravity, you're already giving it a good starting point for it to understand better what it is really that you are trying to achieve. Rather than starting from scratch, it doesn't even know how the layout is supposed to be. Because here, when you copy the prompt, it automatically copies the generated code, which is this one. This one is the same as what you actually copy here. So that's already giving the AI an idea, not an idea, but the exact layout that you want, because this HTML is already designed to have this specific layout. Unless you want to give it more instructions to sort of make changes, you can always use the additional notes field. So yeah, while you can also definitely just throw the AI instructions from scratch, I believe this is more efficient and going to give you quicker and better results without having more back and forths. And so there we go. We have just created and added a timer bar section to a Shopify theme in two different ways, which are both easy and efficient and effective. And so, yeah, hopefully this has helped you with your goals for your store. Whether you use Shopify Magic or build it yourself, The goal is the same: create a better shopping experience. If you prefer a more structured and reusable workflow, you can always visit RDC Lab. I will keep adding more generators there for DIY merchants and web developers like myself who like to stay in control. This has been Red from RDC Lab. Till next time.